A to the K.
To the K.
To the K.
Welcome to the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble predictions. Now you may be thinking, didn't you guys just go through last week and say what you think the match card's going to be? And yeah, we did. But Royal Rumble fever is running wild, baby. And I wanted to go through just the Men's Royal Rumble match and discuss what we might see, who we might see, and how it might all play out. So, what do we know so far? As of right now, there are 7 participants announced for the Men's Royal Rumble match. LA Knight was the first to declare. Then on the Raw premiere of Netflix, John Cena made it known he is going to challenge at the Rumble. And if he wins it, he's going for title number 17. We then got on the post-show CM Punk and Jey Uso putting their names in the hat. And since then, we've had Roman Reigns confirm for the Rumble, as well as both Drew McIntyre and Seth freaking Rollins. Consider this pretty stacked, to be fair. Look at all the guys here that have been announced so far. The first 7. This could be one of the most star-studded Royal Rumbles we have ever seen, let me tell you. 1992 comes to mind. I mean, we had Hogan, we had Undertaker, we had Ric Flair, we had Macho Man, we had Jake Roberts, Piper, we had loads. Didn't have Bret, though, which is not good, or Warrior. So, yeah. But we do have a very, very stacked Rumble here, and pretty much all the big names that WWE have got at the minute are available. Now, one person who you will not see on this list as we go through is The Rock. I think it's pretty clear The Rock is not going to be at the Royal Rumble. I think the way it played out on the Raw Netflix premiere has indicated he will not be around, shall we say, for the Royal Rumble this year or WrestleMania. But as we do in this kind of video, I'm going to go through who's been announced, who we might see, or who we probably will see, maybe some surprises, maybe some returns, maybe some NXT members in the Rumble as well. So let's do it, shall we? These are the 7 that we know, and boy, does it look to be a doozy already. Who else is likely? Who else are we going to see? Chad Gable, he has been featured quite heavily of late. Obviously, the debut match for Penta, who you can see on there as well. I expect Penta to be in this match and to have a hell of a showing in here as well. Dirty Dom, look, you gotta love Dirty Dom. I think he's going to be all over this. I think he's going to be, rolling out the ring, doing everything he can to try and stay in for as long as he possibly can, and I can't wait to see it. Logan Paul is back. He has said that he is in the WWE for the long haul now. It's no longer just a hobby. He's fully committed. So let's see how committed he is, shall we? Because I do think he's going to be in the Rumble. And expect him to, I don't know, maybe they'll do some sort of recreation of the Ricochet spot. I think Logan Paul, got the eyeballs, hasn't he? So if they can do a big moment, maybe it'll be Logan and Penta. But yeah, Logan, I expect to be one of the fan favourites in this match. We could see him actually being there towards the end. Solo Sikoa, again, I imagine he's going to be in this, right? Roman has declared. We know Solo is going to be back on SmackDown this Friday. I expect him to announce that he is going to be entering the Rumble. So, yeah, I think we may get some sort of stare down, some sort of shenanigans here between Roman and Solo. I don't think we are quite done. As much as many of you may groan at that fact, just because the Ula Fala has gone over to Roman Reigns doesn't mean that Solo's not finished with him. So, yeah, those are kind of the big ones who haven't been announced thus far that I would expect to see. We've also got the likes of Otis. They always need the big guy who, how are they going to possibly throw him over the top rope? So, yeah, we need that. I don't know what the Braun Strowman situation is. Maybe he'll be in there. I've not put him on this graphic, but yeah, I imagine Omos or Braun, they have to have the big spot where how can anyone possibly eliminate this guy? R-Truth, he's always comedy gold at the Rumble, whether he enters the right one, whether he even knows it's the Rumble, whether he brings a ladder for what he thinks is the Money in the Bank ladder match. I do expect R-Truth will make an appearance here as well as Rey Mysterio if he is around and about. He's a Rumble kind of permanent fixture, isn't he? So we'll see Rey in there. Now, I've put Finn and Damian Priest on here as well. So obviously we saw the a culmination, we hope, of their feud on Raw yesterday. So, yeah, I think they're both now going to switch their attention onto going after the top title in the company. Sami Zayn, again, is another one who, he's around and about it. It's a tough one with Sami. I don't know how he's ever going to reach the height that he reached, 2 WrestleManias ago, being the tag team champs with KO and everything that he did there. He does seem to be falling down the card a bit, but again, I expect him to be in this one, as well as the likes of Carmelo Hayes, Sheamus, and Andrade. So, you may be looking at this now going, well, that's quite a lot of them. So what do we have? I don't know if we've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we had, 7 on the other one. So we got 21. So doesn't leave much room for surprises. And do you know what? For the men's rumble this year, I don't think we're going to get a lot of surprises, if I'm perfectly honest. But in terms of surprises we may see, let's talk about that, shall we? So first, returns from injury. So AJ Styles, we don't know. I think he posted something on X the other day. He put something out there saying that this injury is, worse than expected, that kind of thing. Could it be a swerve? Could it be to throw people off the scent and maybe AJ is actually ready for a surprise return at the Rumble? I think there's rumours as well of maybe the Good Brothers, kind of, or the OC, getting back involved in the mix. So it could be with AJ, or rumour has it they could be joining up with Finn Balor if the Judgment Day goes south. So we may see something like that. But also Big E. Now, I don't know if I expect to see this, but with the heat that Kofi and Xavier Woods have got on them after what happened with Big E a couple of weeks ago, maybe, we get the big entrance. Big E is back. We think he's going to be returned from injury, and maybe the New Day take him out. Like, how could you possibly heap more heat on the New Day? And that could be a way to do it. So even if he's not, cleared for a return to the ring, could he be involved in some sort of angle? You may be saying, yeah, it's a waste of a Royal Rumble spot, but if it does the business and gets the fans to despise Kofi and Xavier even more, maybe that won't be such a bad thing. So in terms of returns from injury, I could see AJ, maybe Big E, but I don't know if he's going to be fully cleared, so maybe it would have to be some shenanigans. But yeah, I'm not too sure whether either of them will rock up on the 1st of Feb. What about from NXT? I hear you say, well, we've got a couple of options, haven't we, here? Obviously, Obafemi. He could be very much in and around the mix here as well. We've got Ethan Page, another one who we could expect to see. And, of course, Trick Williams, who is... he's definitely impressed, and I think he's probably ready for a call-up. So whether or not we see any of these guys, whether or not any of them will get a call-up off the back of it, whether it'll be post-Mania, I do think we'll see some NXT talent in there, but Obafemi, for me, is probably the most likely, being the champion right now. They do like to bring the champions into the mix and essentially give them that, feeling out period with the main roster talent. But Trick Williams, Ethan Page both had a run with the belt as well, so we could see either of these three quite believably making an appearance in NXT, potentially moving up to the main roster very soon as well. We've then got the surprises and other companies. A lot of people want Joe Hendry. Do they still want Joe Hendry as much as they wanted Joe Hendry a while ago? I don't know. I kind of feel like, I wouldn't say they've dropped the ball on him a little bit, but I think that there was a huge appetite to see Joe Hendry kind of in the WWE and especially in the Rumble. But I don't know, he's not being featured anywhere near as prominently since, he was a couple of months ago. So I don't know whether the interest has waned a little bit there. We've also got Nick Nemeth, the TNA men's champion. Now, historically, we've had the knockouts champion make an appearance in the women's rumble. We had Mickie James, obviously the trailblazer of the Cheers, be the first to do it. We've had Jordan Grace as well make an appearance. So maybe from the men's side, I think, no disrespect to Moose, I think Moose was the champ the last couple of times. I think maybe he didn't have the name value to do something with it. Could we see a Nick Nemeth make an appearance in WWE as Nick Nemeth, not Dolph Ziggler? That'd be a bit of a weird crossover. I don't know how they would handle that. speaking of name changes and crossovers that we may not be able to handle, what do you do with the likes of Matt Cardona? Again, he was interviewed recently. He's done some stuff with AEW, Ring of Honor, and apparently wasn't offered a contract or anything like that, which he was quite surprised about. I don't know whether it's left a bit of a sour taste in his mouth. He says WWE haven't reached out to him at all, or have they? You know, maybe that's why no contract offer was made. You know, Chelsea Green's in the company. We joke all the time here on this show that, you know, you've obviously got to work in the same industry and same company as your partner. But look, I think Matt Cardona definitely has proven himself. I think we say this every year. I'd love to see him get a run in WWE as Matt Cardona. Whether or not that happens remains to be seen. But yeah, imagine woo woo woo, or I think it would have to be woo woo woo, wouldn't it? I don't think his new theme, maybe people would know it, but I think woo 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 would potentially get the bigger pop there. And Malakai Black, will he be making his return to WWE? Will he be Alastair Black? Will he be Malakai? How will all that go? But by all accounts, it looks like his time is up with AEW. Don't know whether he's got, you know, a non-compete clause or anything like that. I don't know whether AEW talent typically does. So if not, maybe he could be the big name that is the big surprise this year at the Rumble. I think, you know, under Triple H, I expect him to be a lot more featured than he was in his previous tenure there. So yeah, Malakai, Alastair Black, whatever you want to call him, could absolutely see him making a surprise appearance. And then we talk about some legends or, you know, old timers that potentially may make a return. And Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the first Royal Rumble winner, has been rumored to be around or involved. So maybe it's only going to be some kind of backstage segment, but, you know, I'm not too sure what his health status is like at the moment. But if he can be involved in the Rumble, I think, you know, some people hate the idea of giving up a spot of someone from the main roster for a legend or someone who's got no real chance of winning it. But to me, that's what the Rumble's all about. I often think back to like 2002 Rumble with, you know, Goldust and Mr. Perfect and people like that just coming back, and it's just been absolutely mental. So yeah, would I love to see Hacksaw? Oh, you bet I would. So Hacksaw is a possibility. What about Chris Masters? You know, I think he's a body guy. Triple H loves the bodies. He's a big bodybuilder himself. I could see him making a comeback. You know, we've seen similar with Carlito. You know, he made an appearance as a one-off in the Rumble, ended up getting signed back there. So look, I think people remember the Masterpiece. You know, the Masterlock Challenge was a very big thing when we were growing up and putting it on our friends and seeing whether we could break out of it ourselves. So Chris Masters is an outside chance. I think what's important as well is we see a lot of the same faces come back all the time. I'd like to see some different, you know, big surprises. Normally X-Pac is on this list for me, but I believe he's just he's been going through some diverticulitis stuff, so I'm not sure he's going to be available. But I do want to see X-Pac come back at some point. Another one, Mr. Kennedy, not just because he's a friend of the show and a former guest, but you know, he's still taking bookings. He's still out there. I think getting that Mr. Kennedy pop would be fantastic. I think fans wouldn't really necessarily expect that. I do think it would go down really well. And you may be saying, legend, Jake Hager, Jack Swagger, what's he doing on here? Why is he not on the other screen? Yeah, okay, fair dues. He could have been on the other one, but he's recently he's done with AEW now, so could he make a one-off appearance here? Maybe something more than that? I don't see it, but wanted to put him on the list as well because you never know, do you? And front and centre, another friend of the show, Santino Marella. I just think, I just love Santino. I think any opportunity we get to see him would be amazing. And if you watch the women's Royal Rumble predictions, I've got another way we may see Santino actually. So you can check that one out. But yeah, another example, Santino. I don't think there's a whole lot. You know, I mentioned before, I don't think this is going to be a very legend heavy Rumble. I think the roster is stacked. You saw the first 7 participants. You saw there was a plethora of other names who haven't been announced for the Rumble yet, who you just going to be shoo-ins and are big names in their own right as well. So yeah, I don't imagine there to be loads of legends or loads of surprises in the men's side. The women's side, however, very different story, which we're, you know, check out our other video to find out there. But yeah, I reckon some of these guys would be a nice change of pace, if you will. Elephant in the room. What about Brock Lesnar? Now, Vince McMahon tweeted out something, didn't he, the other day saying, the charges are all done or whatever, blah, blah, blah. He's paid some hush money somewhere. I don't know if it's in relation to the same case of what's going on where Brock was named, whether it's something else entirely. I'm not 100% sure. But if there was an opportunity to bring back Brock Lesnar, do you do it? Is the Rumble the place to do it? Honestly, I don't know where he fits in. Not right now with the storylines. I don't think it would make sense unless you bring him back to go with Gunther, which I'm still all for, and I would still love to see. I feel like we're going to get something with Goldberg and Gunther at some point, to maybe bring a Brock back now before we've had stuff with Goldberg. I don't know. My prediction was still going to be that Goldberg rocks up on the Atlanta episode of Raw, makes a challenge to Gunther at Royal Rumble, and we get it there. But hell, maybe Brock Lesnar comes back as well, and we get Brock and Gunther announced for WrestleMania. But I don't know. I personally can't see it. I think Punk will be most likely challenger for Gunther. But yeah, do you want to see Brock back? Let us know. Let us know in the comments. Is it the right time? Do you want to see him, or is he done? Is he done in your eyes? Let us know. So takes us to the final four, who I expect to be the last four in there. And you saw that how star-studded it was. The ones who've been announced already. I don't think there's going to be many surprises. So I predict Roman Reigns, John Cena, CM Punk, and Drew McIntyre. Honestly, I think there's so many stories and storylines that will be interweaved already that will unearth potential paths towards WrestleMania at the Rumble. So if Cena wins, he's going to go on challenge to be a 17-time champ. Does he go after Gunther? Does he go after Cody Rhodes? What do we do there? CM Punk, by all accounts, was he meant to win the Rumble last year before the injury stuff? He was certainly meant to be challenging for the world title at Mania. I think that is a promise that, he's essentially been told that is going to be kept. So, yeah, I could see Punk definitely in the mix. Roman Reigns, is this the opportunity for Drew to cost him the Rumble? Is this how we get towards Roman and Drew? Is it at the Rumble? Is it at Mania? Is it at the Chamber? Remains to be seen. But yeah, Drew, just because he's Big Daddy Drew, has got to be in there as part of the final four. But the winner, my prediction for the men's 2025 Royal Rumble, CM Punk. I can't shake the fact that he was seemingly promised a main event title win at WrestleMania, which is something he never got to do in his last run with the company. Injury prevented that last time around, so if he can stay healthy and he can get through the Rumble, if he can win the Rumble, then CM Punk versus Gunther definitely seems like the way we would go. We could do Punk and Cody. I don't think we will, but I'm sure that will be a match which is very much a marquee match. But yeah, I expect Punk to dethrone Gunther at WrestleMania, but we will see how it all plays out. So, yeah, what do you think? Who do you expect to see at the Rumble? Is there anyone I've missed off? Is there an obvious one? What about some legends? Do you think it will be more legend heavy? Is there someone that you want to see back that I've not mentioned? Let us know below. And yeah, I say we. It's just me again because Anthony's not here, but hopefully he'll be back next week. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on this video. Check out the women's Royal Rumble predictions as well in our next video. And yeah, do the usual, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.